folks. Welcome to our City Matters. Today we have a special guest, a city administrator named Don Pinard. He's with Manchester Park and Rec, and I'm going to learn all about our facilities in Manchester and all the programs that we have in a half an hour, of course. So welcome, Don.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you coming on the show. So I was thinking, it's summertime. It's probably just at the right point where we can talk about what's coming up, and get the students and the residents ready for summer, for using our facilities in Manchester and our programs. So I think you have a lot to tell us.
I do. Maybe we could start with just who we are. We're a division of the Department of Public Works. There's 4 divisions in the department. One's the highway department that everybody thinks of, and they're in charge of the streets, the infrastructure, collecting trash, snow removal, that type of thing, the potholes and everything. So they're our biggest division in the department. We got Environmental Protection Division, which is our wastewater treatment plant, the sewer infrastructure. That's also a very large division. Our Facilities Division, which is in charge of the maintenance of all these city buildings, including the schools. They're a little bit smaller division. And then you got us at Parks and Recreation. We're in charge of all the green space in the city, including the cemeteries, athletic fields, school grounds, parks. All that stuff falls into us, or under our realm. So those 4 divisions make up the Department of Public Works.
Okay, so you're Chief of Parks.
That's correct.
And we have many. I counted them online. There was 47 parks. 48, 47?
Yeah, right around there, yeah, in varying sizes and shapes. We have some that are nestled into little neighborhoods that are kind of gems of those neighborhoods that are really nice. And then you get the bigger parks, at Deerfield Park, Stark Park, Veterans Park, Victory Park. There's 4 5 parks right in the downtown area that are kind of special, that we really want to pay attention to. Obviously, Veterans Park is the one that everybody thinks of. It's right here on Elm Street, and a lot of events take place there.
Right. We don't have time to get into all the events, folks, that are taking place, but I know you want to elaborate on Summer Fun. Is that what it's called?
Fun in the Sun.
Fun in the Sun.
Yep, Fun in the Sun. That is a program that's open to Manchester youth, starting at 6 years old. We have 3 different locations that we operate from. Livingston Park is one. Rayco Theodore Pool in that area is the other one. And the third one is at JFK Coliseum. So all 3 of those locations are kind of centered around a pool. So we have that activity in the summer that we take the kids swimming because it's so hot and stuff, and it gives them another thing to do. July 2nd is the registration, so anybody who's looking to register, July 2nd at each one of those locations. So whichever one you're going to go to, or the child's going to go to, you go register at that location. They take up to, I think, 250 per location, so it's a pretty big program.
Is there a fee for
There is
being
not
involved?
a fee. There is not a fee, and the program actually starts July 6th, and it goes for 6 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, it's great because they offer, there's playgrounds in the area, so they offer playground fun, arts and crafts, sports, like I said, swimming.
So the children go to the facility, the center each day, and they have planned activities.
That's correct.
And it's like a camp almost.
It is a camp, and our counselors, as we call them, are usually kids that come back year after year after year, and a lot of them are kids that are going into the teaching profession. And they like to work with kids. They're off in the summer because obviously they're not in school, so they come in and they do their counseling with their kids and work with their kids, go back to school, come back. So we have them usually, most of them, for 4 years running. It's a very nice operation that Brenda Dwyer is the one that oversees that.
Okay, so they can contact you, your office, Park and Rec?
Yep.
Or they can, to find out, more about the registration.
Sure. Yep.
And maybe you have a phone number real quick. I'm not sure.
I probably don't.
Okay.
624-6444 is the department's number, and then we can transfer you where we need to go.
So that's Fun in the Sun?
That is Fun in the Sun. We call it FITS, FITS, Fun in the Sun.
Oh, great. Well, hopefully you can max out those those centers, those programs.
Yeah.
And
We usually do very well.
oh, so first come, first serve.
It is, and last year I started working with Swim New Hampshire, and she was able to, the person that runs Swim New Hampshire was able to acquire a grant, plus I helped her with some money, and we actually taught 6- and 7-year-old children in the Fun and Sun program how to swim, free of charge. It was just kind of something that I had wanted to do. There was a very big concern, listening to our lifeguards, that a lot of people that are going to our pools don't know how to swim. They go with the Fun in the Sun people, and the counselors help our lifeguards when the kids are in the pool, so they can extra sets of eyes. But the kids go back there after Fun in the Sun's over, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, and it puts a lot of stress on our lifeguards, just not having those extra set of eyes. And they've done a fantastic job, but we need to teach the kids how to swim. And
That's helpful.
yeah, absolutely.
That's a life skill, practically.
Yeah.
So speaking about lifeguards, we all set this year for lifeguards?
We are all set for lifeguards. We've just went through the tests and the certifications. Last year we had a shortage of lifeguards, and it wasn't just in Manchester. It was basically throughout the state. Even the state of New Hampshire at their beaches, other communities that have pools. For some reason last year we're having a tough time getting lifeguards, and I don't know if it's a cyclical type of thing. I hadn't seen it that low before, but we had a real tough time finding lifeguards. This year we're really good, and again it tends to be those same kids that come back. So they're just starting college, or they're in college, and they come back for the summertime, and they'll work as the lifeguards, and then again year after year till they graduate. So maybe last year was just an off year where all of them left at the same time, or most of them left at the same time.
So students who are whatever age now in high school, they can take a certification course?
Well, you have to be 18.
18,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
To take the certification.
Correct.
And
To be hired as a lifeguard in Manchester.
they
you
can
have to
find
be-
out more of that info.
Yep, right on our website,
Okay.
the Manchester, New Hampshire website. It's got everything you want to know about parks is on that website.
It is. I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And
We also have a Facebook page, Manchester, New Hampshire Parks and Recreation. So that media is out there all over. So there's not
great.
a lack of information.
right. Okay, so now we have, we're going to just focus on summer recreation. I mean, obviously we have winter, the ski areas. We have so much in Manchester.
We do.
But a half hour we have to just kind of concentrate here on, maybe we can come back and do maybe more on the winter
I'd love to.
another time. So we have children for the summer, like we just said, Fun in the Sun.
There's Fun in the Sun. That's really the biggest activity that we run that is chaperoned. Obviously, you've got all the parks out there. Parents use the parks. Our parks are very busy. There's playgrounds. In every neighborhood, there are playgrounds. So you see those being utilized a lot. Livingston Park area, there's a nice walking trail. We have 4 walking trails in the city on basically every side of the city. So bike trails, walking trails.
And we have the Regis Lumiere Youth Center.
Yeah, we do. That's open in the summertime, and it's also open in the school year after school. It's open so that people can go in there and either just hang out and talk to the people that are there, or
Is that for all ages, all
yep.
school-age
Sure.
children?
Yep.
Do you have, well, let's say like a 9-year-old, we have all kinds of situations in Manchester. If a 9-year-old or parent said, why don't you go to the youth center while I, go to work, or is that the type of...
It's not really a babysitting service,
no.
but you know what? In this day and age, you'd be surprised at how many 9-year-olds just walking off the street because
Yeah,
they're just walking around.
right.
So again, it's not a babysitting service,
No.
but we don't.
But if
tend to
parents,
turn
it's a
anybody
last
around.
resort, parents need a place, or, I mean, there's some interesting activities going on there.
Yep.
And, I mean, maybe it's not something you're going to park your kid for every day during the summer,
Right.
but maybe on a rainy day or something.
Well, again, and we have the facilities that we have for Fun in the Sun. Again, that would be the program to really get into.
Right.
Is
For a
the-
daily activity.
For a daily activity,
Right.
right? And even if you're involved in Fun of the Sun, you don't have to go every day. you know? I mean, that's why, I mean, we have 250 people that are, let's say, registered per site, but very rarely will we have 250 at one time, you know?
Right.
So.
Okay, so the youth center, they can call your office to find out more about that. So for the adults, we have a few activities that focus on adults, like the Derryfield.
The Derryfield Country
Country
Club
Club.
is a perfect example. That's a ball golf course over for Mammoth Road. It's been there since the 1930s, I believe. It's kind of a mainstay in the city. Everybody knows about the Derryfield Country Club. People love to go there. People have been going there for years. We've got the brand new disc golf course that we've built by Brown and Mitchell Park. It's really behind Pine Grove Cemetery. It's something that's new. It's free entertainment for it's adults to children. I mean, anybody can play. If you can throw a
It's
frisbee.
an 18-station
18 holes.
disc golf.
Yeah, 18 holes. We're very proud of that course. It was designed by a professional. You've got two different basket locations. That's how you catch the disc. When you throw it, two different basket locations at each hole, so you have a potential for the closer one or a further one. On any given day, it'll be either one of those, and you have where you throw to start off, a tee where you start off. You get two different tee locations, so you can be either in the front one or in the back one, depending on how you play. And I've seen kids from 6 years old to adults, and you'd be surprised how good those 6-year-olds throw the disc. They throw it better than I do, I think.
I was watching somebody do it the other day. I said, "Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
It's,
So
that's challenging.
It is challenging. It's a lot of fun. It's a perfect location because you don't really disturb nature. You take what's there. And so we didn't do a lot of tree cutting and all that stuff. There's just kind of natural paths that go through the woods, and that's what really you use. So that's really big. Obviously, we have our aquatic facilities. We have softball throughout the city, different leagues that people play in.
Speaking about the teams, 18 teams I counted.
Throughout the
Different teams of different sports.
different sports. Yeah, there's all kinds of sports
And
that are
leagues
offered.
and-
Yeah, absolutely.
And so these must have sign-ups and
They do, and most of them, we don't, we don't run any of those leagues. There's like little leagues. Each area has their own little leagues, and they play in the little leagues. And then softball, they have Sunday morning leagues. They have night leagues. They have, so they have different offerings for those. The women's leagues. And then you've got the football, the soccer, the lacrosse, and there isn't a shortage of things to do. There
No,
really isn't.
certainly isn't.
If you want to keep yourself busy.
Exactly. And the senior adults, I know we have a senior center, and that is a city-supported senior center.
Well,
Is that right?
we support the senior center, but they're over on the west side, and that place gets a lot of use, which is excellent. But we have different activities for seniors ourselves. We have in the summertime, actually it's already started now, we have a walk that we do, Walk for Health, that we do. It usually starts at Livingston Park. That's our first one. So a bunch of people meet there and walk around the park, and we branch out to different areas. And by the end, we keep track of how many miles everybody walks, and there's somebody that's walked a whole bunch of miles. And but it's getting people out there and getting them active, and that's what's important.
And socializing.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's a big thing. So those who don't know that we have a senior center, you might call the Park and Rec and find out more about the senior center. That is on 151 Douglas Street, for those who know the address.
It's kind of in the area of West High School.
Oh, okay. And, well, I mean, I'm sure there's even more, because I just kept reading on the website, kept reading. You must have some other notes there?
Well, yeah, there's all kinds. I mentioned the recreational trails. You have the Heritage Trail, what's called the Heritage Trail, or the Riverwalk, right by Piscataqua Stadium. It goes all the way basically down into the mill yard, right alongside the river. I'm working on that area a lot. There tends to be overgrowth and stuff like that, but a lot of people use that area, and you could actually access over the river through the hands across the Merrimack over to the West Side Trail. which is known as the Piscataqua Trail.
Is that down there in the mill yard, down Commercial Street area?
That's the Heritage Trail. That's
Okay.
the Riverwalk. And then the other one goes across to the west side, over by 2nd Street, and then toward the West Side Arena, the ice arena that's out there toward Goffstown.
Okay. And there's the bridge that goes right behind the Piscataqua Stadium?
That's the Hands Across.
Okay.
That's the Hands Across Merrimack.
Okay.
Right. That's the one we take to go over to the West Side Arena. There was an old trestle bridge right there going heading towards Goffstown. That trestle was in large disrepair. We finally got the funding for replacing that bridge and putting a footbridge in its place. So that's going to be done in September. It's been a long time in coming, but that's going to be done in September. So now you'll be able to go from Manchester right in through Goffstown and really even into New Boston.
Oh, wow.
So it's another gateway into our city. People bike, people run.
And it's paved,
And
right?
it's paved up until the trestle. Then up over the trestle, it's not paved, but it's very well maintained.
Yeah.
Again, it goes all the way into Goffstown Center.
Beautiful, yeah.
So,
Nice summer
Yeah.
bike ride out
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
Now, the one behind Shaw's, or the former Shaw's Plaza,
Yep.
that's the South Trail.
That's the South Manchester Rail Trail. Yep.
And that one from, it's a Beach Street, right? And behind Shaw's, you can park in that parking lot. My husband and I use that one
You go
quite
over
a
to
bit.
Gold Street.
And it goes right to Gold Street,
Right.
where Walmart is
Right.
being built.
Right.
So you can actually go from this end of town
Mm-hmm.
to, by Mom's motorcycle or this area going south without having to take a car.
Right. And
Take
we're
a bike,
actually
or
we're
walk.
actually extending that trail almost all the way to the airport.
And when is that going to happen? 'Cause that's an interesting area there as well.
We're in the engineering portion right now. So we've already got the funding for it, and it's in their hands. Once we get that stuff back, then we go out to bid and stuff to build it. We're talking probably 3 years. There's an interesting portion there where there's another trestle bridge out there.
There's a bridge.
And that trestle bridge we're actually redoing. We're not actually tearing that one down. That one's in good enough shape that we're able to redo it and have the funding to be able to redo that bridge
I've
to keep
walked
a little
up
bit of that history.
Good. I've walked up to that bridge.
Yep.
Didn't dare go on the bridge. I
Right.
think it was signs, do not
Probably.
trespass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that would be great. And then they can get to the post office. And it gets you under, the highway to the other side.
Right. We're eventually going to try to hook that up to Londonderry.
Okay.
So that
That's
you're going to go into from Londonderry. So we're also working at a portion in the city so that we can hook up to eventually the West Side Trail. So you'll be able to go from, let's say, Londonderry all the way to New Boston or to Goffstown.
That'd be beautiful. Now, there's a section behind Mom's motorcycle.
That's a little rough.
It's rough there, and that's not far from my house, and I'd really like to see that paved and connecting to Elm Street,
Well, we're
right
working
by
on,
Market Basket, right?
We're working on cleaning that whole area up right
Yeah.
now.
Now, is there any possibility to have a bridge, a footbridge, or a bridge where someone can, a handicap accessible, they can walk their bike up and come down the other side over Queen City Avenue, so that we can connect the South Trail all the way to
Something would
Market
go
Basket?
over Queen City Avenue.
Yeah, to go over Queen City, because that's very dangerous.
It is. It is very dangerous.
Cross.
Not being an engineer, I'm not sure quite how they do it. You would, if you're talking about handicap accessible or ADA compliant, I would imagine you're going to have some type of elevator because it's just too steep.
It could
go.
be too steep.
It's
You
to
know who
go
has
across.
one of those is Nashua, one of those bridges right across Henry Burke Highway.
Okay.
And the students use it to go from Manchester Street over the Henry Burke Highway to the middle school, Pennachuck Middle School. That bridge is a beautiful bridge, and so you might want to check that out as a suggestion, and maybe you could duplicate that. It doesn't need an elevator.
So it's not that steep.
It's
then.
not that steep. The way they built it, I think I'd love to see that there.
Yeah. It definitely helps. I mean, trying to cross that traffic, we have that problem in a couple different areas, and one of them is on South Main Street with that West Manchester Rail Trail, the Piscataqua Trail. We cross South Main Street, and I mean, we have to put in a special signal where you
Right.
push it, immediately the light comes on so you can cross. But yeah, those areas are pretty dangerous.
Yeah, but check out that bridge over on Henry Burke Highway
Okay. I
in
will.
Nashua. It's beautiful. And so, okay, now
How about fireworks?
fireworks. Oh my goodness, let's talk about fireworks.
4th of July fireworks. We have them on the 3rd of July.
You take care of that too.
Yes, we do. We do it on the 3rd. We have an Army band that comes in, and the festivities down at Arms Park. And one of the reasons we do it on the 3rd is because everybody's got the 4th off. So we feel that, families, it makes it easier for families to go to the event and watch the fireworks, and then be able to sleep late. People aren't afraid of keeping their kids out that late. And then it helps us with our rain date, where we could have it on the 5th. It's very difficult. If you have it on the 4th, then you're trying to do a rain date, and you're a week later. So it works out well. It's worked out very well for us. It's a huge event. They put on a great Atlas puts on a great fireworks display for us.
So how do you get down to Arms Park, or where's the best place to watch?
You have differences of opinion. If you want to be right in the festivities, Arms Park is off Commercial Street. So you'd have to go down Commercial Street on the east side of the river. I'm not sure how much the parking is there at that time. A lot of people watch it from the west side. Any place where there's kind of a hill that people can have a good vantage point on. I know a lot of people on the west side go out by Lafayette Park. And there's a big hill at that park, and they stand up in that area there, and they get a great view because the bridge is right there. They're shot off at Bridge Street, right off the Bridge Street Bridge. So we closed the bridge off.
Oh, okay.
So and that's where the fireworks are shot off.
Okay, well, that's great. And what other interests do you have? We have 5 minutes left.
Sure. We talked about
Did
pools.
we say the skateboard? We didn't talk about the skateboard park.
No,
That's important.
Adam Curtis Skateboard Park. It's right behind the youth center, and it's right next to Hunt Pool. It's a park that's been there for I don't even know how long, for a good amount of time. It's kind of hidden from everything, which we don't like, but it makes it difficult to watch and monitor what's going on in there. But people are there all the time. We had a big event there last year. Trying to think of the company that I can't think of the company that ran. They ran some type of raffle or whatever. There's a kid from Manchester that won, and what they did is they came in, and there's some kind of gaming thing where it might have been Sony that they play on the Game Boys or whatever. The child from Manchester won. They came in and set up in that park, and they brought in a professional skateboarder and had their new Sony games and all that stuff. It was a huge
promotional,
huge event
Wow,
event for that.
yeah. There's a lot of students, a lot of kids out there with skateboards, and they want to, brush up their skills.
Yeah, and people were talking about bikes too. It's for small bikes they can use BMXing or whatever they call
Right.
it. I just got an email today that was interesting that I hadn't thought of. They wanted to know if we offered or would think about offering classes for that stuff, and it's something
Wow.
I'd like to look into. I never even really thought of it. So that's always a possibility there.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's great. So I think we've covered pretty much everything for the summer.
Yeah, there was. That's what I was going to talk about. DuPont Pool.
West
over
side?
on the west side, absolutely. The pool that I learned how to swim at. We need some major repairs over at DuPont Pool, and this year in our CIP budget, what I look to do is get money for a spray park there instead of the pool. We have no locations in Manchester for families with toddlers or little
sprinkler?
kids. Yeah, exactly. The spray.
Yeah, like a fountain sprinkler.
Yeah, and they have 5, 6,
Nice.
8, 10 of those types of apparatus around the park. And again, you don't have that anywhere in Manchester for somebody with little kids who don't swim yet because they're a year old or 2-year-old to get wet, or somebody that's not comfortable swimming, more as a destination for the family type of
That's
thing.
nice. I like that idea.
So we're looking at that. The mayor has backed that. He thinks it's a great idea. It's in his CIP budget. So we're hoping that happens. So that's kind of exciting for us.
This year or next year?
Well, in this year's coming up in 2016's budget.
Okay, so for next summer, perhaps.
Well, maybe
Maybe
or
for this summer?
maybe late this.
Oh, great.
The thing that's good with the spray park is I can open it in May and close it in September because I don't need lifeguards because it's
Right.
just you're on basically on
Right,
concrete or
right.
concrete pad, so the season's a lot longer and the expense is shorter.
Are there grassy areas where the people
Well, there would
can put
be
their
area-
basket, put
Sure.
their blankets?
Sure, there'd be
and-
an area around where
To
people could
rest.
sit and maybe tables or picnic tables and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, a real kind of a family destination.
That's nice, too, yeah. Well, that's terrific. Well, I think we've covered all we need to cover for this time, and you can give the website that the people need to go to, really.
Yeah, it's pretty long. It's just if you go into
www. At the
it's
bottom.
Manchester, www.manchesternh.gov, and then you'll have a list of departments. So if you go into that basic web page for anything in Manchester, it'll be listed there. Then there's a listing of departments. You go into Parks and Recreations, and you'll see everything from our facilities to everything we do.
That's great. Well, I'm happy you came on today on
Thank
the
you.
show and informed our viewers and the residents of Manchester. And we'll have you again maybe towards the winter time, and we'll talk
Anytime.
about winter sports
Excellent.
and programs. So thank you so much, Don.
Thanks for
and
having
we'll
me.
see you next time. Thank you, folks, for joining us on Our City Matters. Take care.